Okay, so first of all, there was a typo in number 8 on this worksheet, but really, I fixed that. I actually went through on everyone and I wrote it in, so that's not an issue. All right, so when we're looking at a problem like number 1, okay, there's some trig in it, but this is a calculator, so if we want to know on what intervals the graph of f is increasing, what we could do is algebraically find the derivative. What would we do next to find critical numbers? Set it equal to 0, make a sign chart, all that. Okay, but if we already have our calculator, what we, really can do instead is go ahead and type in the derivative. So 3x squared plus 10x minus 3, and then plus cosine x. Okay. And now if you just did like a standard zoom, like F2, zoom 6, that might not be a bad way to start this. All right, now I can't see the very bottom of this, so we could either zoom out or we could just go to the window, which would be diamond F2. And we could just make our y min a little bit less than -10. So say -15 or something. I need to do the negative symbol. And that way we could see the whole picture. Okay, so remember this is the graph of f prime. All right, so if we're trying to figure out on what intervals is the graph of f increasing, what should I be looking for on the graph of f prime? Stay with me here. F prime is positive. So I just would use this interval and this interval over here. So I need to find these numbers. How do you find those numbers? F5, 0. The word 0, which is like root. So F5, 0. So if I want to find this one, I would just go to the left, press enter, go to the right, press enter, and that finds that value for me. Okay, it's like 0.191. If you wanted to find the other 0, you would go back to F5, you'd select 0, and then you'd go all the way to the left. So this is not, you've seen this thing on the calculator before, but we just haven't really done it in this situation. Okay, so since this is the graph of f prime, all right, f is increasing from -infinity to this -3 number, union 0.191 to infinity. And then f would be decreasing where f prime is negative. And so that's how you can come up with these answers. Okay? This will be posted online, so you don't have to write this down if you'd rather just watch and then do it on your own later. It's up to you. Okay, now if algebraically, how have we used to been doing concave down? What derivative did I need to find? The second derivative. Set that equal to 0, do a sign chart, and all that's fine. Well, what I can do though, since I already have the graph of f prime, if I know where f prime is decreasing, then that's where f is concave down. And so, all right, so I need to find this point, this minimum. All right, so we would go to F5, and there's minimum right there. We would select it. Again, it says lower bound. I am to the left of the minimum, so I press enter. It says upper bound, so go to the right of the minimum. And so what this x value represents is where f prime changes from decreasing to increasing. So what is this x value representing on the graph of just plain f? So this is where f prime changes from increasing to decreasing. Point of inflection. So that kind of leads us through the next part of this, okay? So there's several different ways that you could have done this. I'm just kind of showing you where your calculator could make doing a problem like this easier. Okay, let's look at 2 and 3. And I just want to kind of discuss this in general. We're not going to go over every single little part, and we'll talk more about this on Monday. Okay, 2 is kind of a new, it looks totally different than what we've been doing. What is the minimum value of the product xy? But once you just substitute y in for y, and so instead of xy, you have x, 3x plus 9, and distribute, then it becomes just like any other problem. Okay? It's just like any other problem. And if you were confused about relative or absolute min, like which one it didn't say, in this problem, they ended up both being the case. Okay? All right, look at number 3. Find the equation of the lines tangent to the graph at the point where f prime is 6. Okay, they're not giving us x. What are they giving? The derivative, which, what does that represent in the line? The slope. So they're telling us that the slope is 6. So when you write your lines, the slope is 6. What we need to find out is what are the x and y. Well, they tell us, hey, set the derivative equal to 6. So find the derivative, set it equal to 6. You're going to need your calculator to do this. And so you can either look this up later or go ahead and write it down now, but you need to make sure you're able to do these steps in your calculator, solving equations, typing in numbers, keeping accuracy by either storing numbers or using the copy and paste, something like that. Okay, we're going to totally skip 4, and y'all are going to be okay with that. Okay, let's look at number 5. There's a question eerily similar to this on your semester exam, by the way. I'm not going to tell you that about very many things, but this is. So if I give you f prime, what is the x coordinate of the point of inflection? We did a problem pretty similar to this. We found the relative extrema. That's the easiest way to do this problem. What you could do is find the second derivative and do the sign chart and all that. But this is the easier way to do this problem. Okay, I want you to look back over the rest of this worksheet and maybe the review a little bit. We'll review on Monday. Thank you guys. You have a great weekend. For everybody watching the video, I'm just going to kind of show the rest of the answers here, and we'll go over this on Monday.